All right, Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is going to be for the 28th of December through the 3rd of January. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to this type of astrology, do check the description down below because the signs are different. All right, Sagittarius, so this week, not a whole lot going on astrologically. We only have two major aspects. One is quite important. Mercury squaring up to Mars pretty much all week long, and the reason is Mercury is slowing down. He's going to go retrograde next week. And so he's going to be in the square position going into next week also. So the key with this is sometimes it does feel a little bit like that touchy kind of energy with this, maybe specifically with communications and things like that. Of course, our own personal charts are the most important, but generally as the collective energies, maybe a little bit of that irritability sometimes with Mars. Bringing that extra attention to our communications is very important this week, as well as to our own personal drives, making sure our own personal egos don't get caught up into anything we might be communicating or wanting or doing on that daily level of Mercury. So this is specifically involving your 10th house, which is where you've had perhaps a lot of motivation and drive to pursue maybe your career things, your big picture stuff, your legacy lately over the past couple months almost with Mars here. So this can be very constructive transit. It's these squares can be very grounding, and you can actually actualize a lot this week, maybe specifically involving that career stuff that maybe you've been motivated towards. And this is a Mercury in your first house. And so with Mercury slowing down too, though, there's this new shift, a new sort of reflection we're going to go into for the next few weeks with your sign in Sagittarius. At least the bulk of it will be. So you're reflecting on maybe your own interests, your own goals, your own ambitions, who you are in many ways, and the things you want out of life. But that's going to be reflective. So kind of pausing with that, slowing down, bringing that extra attention again to maybe the things that you want and you're intent on, again, can be very constructive, because then in that way, the things you learn this week can be implemented very well with the square from Mars, so long as we're being patient and that sort of thing. Now, this is involving different areas with the rulers. Mercury does rule both your 7th and your 10th house. So with relationships, extra attention here, as well as, again, with that career, I think will be important. Mars does rule your 5th and your 12th. So with the self-expression and creativity and passions, extra attention there, and grounding those passions, maybe involved in that career level, and also maybe getting that rest and relaxation or having that faith and trust, which is very important with Mars ruling that 12th. Now, that's going to be the strongest energy of the week. Well, it's going to be the lunar aspects too, so I'll talk about the moon. But in terms of general energy of the week, it'll certainly be that one. But also this early part, the sun is sextiling up to Neptune. So it could be easy going in that regards. There's an element of it, at least these first few days, involving you. Again, your sun's been in your first house. Happy birthday to those of you Sagittarians watching this for your sun sign who have your birthday this week. But in either case, a lot of focus on those goals and stuff and ambitions. So it could be quite easy going, maybe with the communications, interestingly enough, since Neptune is in that 3rd house. So there's a flow about it, and it's finding that flow and faith and trust, which I think can come quite easy during this time period. Especially involving the things that you're intent on or focused on involving yourself. Now, with that, Venus is transitioning into Scorpio this week around the beginning of the year. In fact, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, she's going into your 12th house. So this has been an area where Saturn's been. So it's been important for you to really ground that spirituality, that faith and trust, etc., and establish yourself in your life in terms of what things really mean to you on that soul level. But now Venus comes in and kind of lightens that up, and I think you can enjoy maybe the meditation or any of that disciplined hard work that you're doing in regards to spirituality, or making sure you get that alone time or whatever it might be, working behind the scenes perhaps even. So quite nice to have Venus there. I think you can enjoy all that alone time, and that's going to be for the next few weeks with that transit. Now, I do want to cover that lunar aspect, since the lunar aspects will be emphasized this week. So the theme, this overall theme of the week, is specifically in regards to that 12th house, because this is where you had the last new moon. So the past few weeks and really the next 6 months is very much emphasizing this new beginning of your spiritual outlook that maybe has been developing over the past few weeks. So it's a good week for that. We're in the 3rd quarter phase, a week of grounding that, especially the case with Saturn there also. Now, we did just have a full moon in your 7th house last Friday. So there was that awareness and cultivation, maybe with relationships and one-on-one connections. So maybe implementing some of those insights also. All right. So Sagittarius, have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all next week. Take care.